Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be giving an updated opinion on last month's Paletteful Packs. And full disclaimer, if you hear shouting, that's my husband playing Call of Duty in the background, so let's get started. So I decided to add in some of my own Tombows because, as I mentioned in the unboxing video, I do have a set that I never used before. So I was really excited that we got this because when I first used the Tombow markers back in the day, I couldn't get them to blend well, and I was really into not expressive sort of paintings or drawings. I was more into like realism and trying to get blending down perfectly. But since we got these and the art inspiration from last month was kind of like messy and splattered because they are water-based markers, I decided to do something along those lines. Now, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you don't know that I set up polls every day for people to vote on what my next day warm-up sketch should be, except for this month. And the reason why I'm not going to be really doing it in March is because I'm taking part in the Treckle Art Supplies 30-day March art challenge. And this year they're doing a bunch of musicians, so I think that'd be really cool to just kind of get creative with whatever musician it is that they have for the day. I'm still going to set up polls regarding what I'm going to do with said musician, but I'm not going to put up like random stuff to draw. But this day, Page of Plants won. But anyways, okay, let's talk about my updated opinions on these markers. So as I mentioned before, when I first used Tombows, I'm not talking about Paletteful, but way back in the day, I just couldn't get a good blend out of them. And that was because back then I didn't know that a good way of blending with these markers or any markers is layering. Now, I know that may seem like a pretty common sense type of thing, but mind you, when I first got into art, I was really into acrylics, and even when I was painting, I was mixing transitional colors and kind of blending them together by dry brushing or something like that. So with markers, I never had that experience before, and I never realized that you could just use a transition color and just layer them on top of each other. So now that I understand that concept, or now that I understand that about markers, well, any kind of markers, I do realize that the Tombows are really good markers. And yes, at first they are very streaky and you have to again layer it. That's the same thing with other markers. If you don't layer and you don't work fast enough, the markers will streak and you will see lines from it. It's just, you can't avoid that. So it's really important to blend them with transition colors and just keep layering them, and you will have a beautiful blend. And for these sketches, I wanted to continue experimenting with coloring with the markers and then spraying it with water, as you can see with the plant page that I did, and then with these two portrait stuff that I did. As for these micron pens, I mean, there's not much that I can say about microns. Microns are great pens. I love them from the start. The only thing is that you really, really do have to be mindful about letting it dry. The problem that I had here as I'm coloring it in, and here I'm using not just the Tombows that came in Paletteful Packs, but the collection that I had. This is the first time I'm actually playing with all of them. But anyways, the problem that I found with the microns is that I'm just impatient. So as you're seeing here, I was really happy with the sketches, but I didn't wait long enough. And when I added the Tombows on top of the microns, it did bleed and smudge and muddy up the color. So although I really liked my illustrations, they did come out kind of muddy, and I ended up liking it less, and I had to correct it with white gouache to make some of the parts a little bit lighter. Remember, these are water-based, which means that we can mix them and we can reactivate the layers underneath. So I was kind of stuck. I think I also chose the wrong colors, especially for this girl that I'm working on here. I think I should have made her base of her skin tone lighter and then went darker. So that's another learning thing. Same thing for the girl in the top left. I wish I would have started with lighter markers and then just gotten gradually darker to where I wanted it. I need to remember that markers, much like watercolors, are transparent mediums, so it's very important to work light from dark as opposed to what I'm normally used to. But updated opinion, I do still really like these markers, and I hope to get more practice with them, and I hope to play around with them a lot. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.